positivity now.
Positivity! Hello! I'm Cherry, and this is Azure with his brand new speaking PNG. It doesn't speak like the other one, but I'm planning on making... I'm planning on making better PNGs eventually. This was a mock-up, so...
I actually haven't seen what it looks like on stream yet.
You look dapper. Is that the word they use over in the British place?
Well, that's not appropriate then, because we're in America.
That's true.
Both in terms of our streaming location and the game we're playing.
Yes, we are in America.
Hello, the turtle.
England is not for another few generations from now. In fact, we go back to America before we go back to Britain. I'm sorry, Hawaii, but you're just a part of America, and you just have to accept it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you're the ones who get all pissy whenever one of your tourists say, "I need to go back to America."
Mm-hmm.
I know that because from a trip that my parents took.
Oh, are you not in America? I don't know half the time with Hawaii people. Are they mad that we took over their island, or are they not mad?
I think the indigenous people are mad. I think that the immigrants who moved it there decades ago and have since become citizens of Hawaii are mad that they're not often considered part of America. It's it depends on who you ask.
Ah, okay. I don't know half the time. Because I know that there are some indigenous people who say that they're kind of better off just being a part of the United States because of benefits and stuff.
Do you think that the Johto region is jealous that it has to share the Elite Four with Kanto?
Maybe.
Do you ever think that maybe in the ancient past, before the modern era, there was wars between Johto and Kanto over that land?
Probably.
And Kanto won?
Probably. I mean, it's hilarious because Sinnoh is also in Japan, right? So
the first four regions.
Yeah, the first four regions are all part of Japan. So it's why do two share the same Elite Four, but the other two do not? Are they really that far apart from each other in Japan? I don't know. You guys are gonna have to help me with maps one of these days, and we'll take a look at the map and see if they're farther apart for Japan. I guess they must not be walking distance in comparison to Johto and Kanto, but you know.
I don't think even if these regions actually existed and were real, I don't think they'd be within walking distance.
What are you talking about? We don't walk it. We only walk places in Pokemon.
There are no cars.
What are you talking about? They're cars. Want to go back to the road and see the cars?
Those aren't cars.
They're trucks.
I don't...
Right up here. What are these?
That is a Transformer. That is Optimus Prime.
So you were saying that there are no driving movies. Anyway.
It's a Japanese game, and it has to be Optimus Prime.
Anyway,
I'm sorry, but have you ever seen a Peterbilt semi-truck in any Japanese anime?
No.
Exactly.
Not unless they're running someone over. Oh my god, is it Optimus Prime running people over?
It just makes me think, it's trucks are so much bigger in America. It's when someone gets isekai'd in, the United States, it's there is nothing left of their body.
Yeah, when somebody gets isekai'd in the United States, their whole family sometimes comes with them.
Yes. Oftentimes because some idiot on the road got drunk and swerved in front of a truck and it, went through their living room.
So we gotta ask the big question. What are we doing tonight here? Anakin's level 21. What's the boss that we have to fight? Level
I don't know, but Anakin was 22 when he turned to the dark side, so we might want to be careful about that.
That's true. But we need to make this baby good so we can one-shot all the electric babies.
That is true. That is very true.
What's in this house?
Except for her Emolga. Her Emolga is a problem.
Then do we send out the grass Pokemon for that one? Or no, wait, it's flying.
No, because it's flying. You know who would have been great for that? Roxanne.
We don't talk about Roxanne. We don't talk about Roxanne. It was the most devastating death that's ever happened in this, in the process of this game.
Wasn't she also killed by an electric type?
Yes, she was killed by an electric type, and it was the most devastating thing I'd ever had. I thought I had a type advantage, but no.
Maybe it wouldn't have done so well in the gym after all.
My pet Rock, I will always miss you. And I will always think of you when I hear Celine Dion.
Well, to be fair, if the Rock had been in Titanic, I don't think it would have floated. That's
true. I'll never let go, Roxanne. Drops the rock.
Slips out of your foot. Slips out of your
No! We should never be allowed to rewrite movies.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for this soothe bell. I will proceed to do nothing with it.
Needless to say, Castaway would have been a very fucked up movie if Wilson had been a rock.
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Just Tom Hanks trying to swim to the ocean's floor and drowning.
Oh, these features we can't use. Never mind.
Mm-hmm. This is stuff that you could have done back in 2011.
Is this the gym? Nope, it's Subway.
Yeah.
Subway!
I want a sandwich! Who are you?
I won, then I lost.
That's not good. If we win and then lose, then...
Your station has trains where you can battle other trainers in the battle Subway. You're a trainer, aren't you? Please accept this without a word. Oh, thank you. If you have a VS recorder, you can record the battle of friends or the other battle Subway. Anyway, this woman of mystery will go somewhere. That's right. She'll go to the Battle Institute. That's not very mysterious.
Mystery right out of it.
Azure trains.
I'm just saying, for a terminal station, seems a little dangerous. I'm not seeing any buffer stops.
Single, double, or multi-trains. Sir, does this battle give you XPs?
You want to talk to your doctor about that.
Sir? Do I get XPs from this?
I think there are signs on the...
I don't like this. I don't like telling you how I do things.
Something tells me this is not something you would get an EXP from, because then it would just be like...
Well, it's under construction anyway.
Everyone would use this to...
I don't know why trains are under construction. That's kind of weird. Anyway.
Well, they gotta build the train.
I guess so. I don't want to go back there. That's where my cat died. I mean, I'm not choked up about it.
I do believe that there are, like, sports stadiums where we can train.
Oh. Big court, small court. Guys, I'm confused. Is this a fashion place or a sport place? Because, you know, I don't know if both of those things are allowed to coexist in the same place.
Well, cheerleaders.
I guess so. Hi, lady.
The Fox NFL theme starts playing in the background. Dun 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 dun!
I injured my head, so I can't sign autographs. Oh.
He must be a quarterback. Let's see. Do you watch any sports?
No. I'm an anime nerd. We've been over this, Azure. Just because there's anime about sports, it doesn't mean I watch them.
Not even esports?
Nope.
I can't see anything!
Good.
This is an incredible game! Just like you're hearing like stuff in the background.
When did the dragons come in? Hello, sir. Power. Oh.
We seem to have come in the middle of a scrimmage.
How do they play football in the Pokemon universe?
With a Voltorb.
Sounds about right. Uh-oh.
Well, it's a fire type.
What if I use dig?
We know dig, right?
Yeah.
Let's dig.
Ow.
Oh no. You're my brother, Anakin! It was said that you would destroy the electric types!
Anakin died as he died in the game. To fire.
He was immolated. We're fucked. We're so fucked. Is that even a critical?
No. No. How? I don't understand. Somebody please explain to me how that happened.
Hang on, I'm getting word just in. This is from Polis Massa. It appears that Anakin's wife has lost the will to live.
Fuck. I'm gonna be done in by football players, I can tell you now. Why wake up, Slav? It's not asleep!
It's still doing hella damage.
Yeah.
Oh. You are the chosen one!
Well... I can't say I didn't see this coming, but I had a feeling that this was gonna happen.
I had a bad feeling. As soon as it said Fire Punch, I thought to myself, wow, wouldn't it be funny if he died to that, just like Anakin did? And then it happened!
Not even a critical hit. How fucking strong is Fire Punch that it... You know what?
Let me look it up.
I'm not gonna think about it too much.
It's a power of 75. Plus stab.
Oh. I guess stab will do it.
Fuck you, Dan. You killed our crocodile.
Fuck you, football Dan. Oh, it was gonna be so cool.
There's a joke in here about the Florida Gators, but I'm not clever enough to make one.
Well, time to do the honors. Unless chat's not watching and we can pretend that we didn't.
Cue up the theme from Return of the Jedi when Luke starts the pyre. The very, like, somber Force theme.
I don't know how that song goes.
Da, 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 da. Oh, that reminds me of something. To completely change the subject.
Well, we have a bug.
We got a bug! Good news, Swaddle, you're back on the team! God help us.
And we have access to no more routes. So you're gonna have to train in probably one of the most dangerous places we can train you in.
Not necessarily. I think there is one more place. Can you go back into the Pokemon Center and check the PC? I want to see... It should say where we caught Sandile.
We caught it at that...
I think we caught it somewhere else.
No.
Does anyone ever use the mailbox?
I did once.
Yeah, check the status. See if it says where we caught it from.
Desert Resort.
Does it? God damn it. Okay, never mind then.
Because remember, we killed the Duramaka on the route.
I know, but I thought there was like another zone like, in between Route 4 and the Desert Resort.
Nope. There's not. Nope. Well, I don't know. I'm just ready to lie over and let the electric lady step on me, personally. That would be a good way to end a nose.
She does have big your energy.
Yeah.
In terms of her appearance, not necessarily her personality. Did you watch the episode today? I have not yet, but I know I need to. I was playing Final Fantasy XIV a lot, trying to get ready for our collab. I have not done any of that yet because I want to do the character creation project because you know the lore doesn't start when you start playing the game. The lore starts in the character creation, as you know. Oh, of course. So I gotta set aside a day. I'm afraid that my character is too normal for our kind of whatchamacallit. What are you talking about? You're an anime boy. You're fine. But yeah, I was in like one of the I guess it would be like one of the cantinas in one of the starting cities. Someone was playing the Pokemon battle theme. Yeah, that's illegal. No, I mean they were playing it on like one of their instruments or whatever. Yeah, that's illegal. Is it? In Final Fantasy, yes. Nobody listens to it, but according to the TOA, is that it? The terms TOS? Of TOS, the terms of service. Tales of Symphonia? Yeah, the Tales of Symphonia. According to the Tales of Symphonia, if you play a game, if you play a music that's not under the protection of, well, if you play copyrighted music, basically you could get into big doo-doo trouble. Which is why show up and smack the shit out of you. Which is why I would suggest while streaming Final Fantasy to turn off the Bard music just so that the people playing it don't get banned. Because technically we're not supposed to be doing that. Technically there's a lot of things in Final Fantasy you're not supposed to be doing, but you know, the Final Fantasy devs have decided if it's between two consenting adults, then they're not going to get involved. I've seen the Lucy Player video. Oh, I love Lucy's stuff. I don't understand. I thought the E in ERP stood for electronic. Now, if I could get noticed by that senpai one day, that would be great. But I'll probably will never be able to get noticed by any of my senpais. Sad. Although I do really love her model. If I could have my dream model, I think I'd want that artist. If I could afford it. And here's where I would put my VTuber model. If I had one! I'm sure you don't want a VTuber model. It's a slippery slope. Yeah, I know. No.
You know I have a second one. I just need to find a rigger for it.
Did you actually get the model itself?
I do have the model itself. I don't know if you know the details behind a VTuber 2D model.
I know that it is very complicated.
It is very complicated, but
it
it's
is
not
too complicated for my engineer's brain.
Okay, it's not overly complicated. So you know you have a Photoshop. You have a Photoshop image, right?
Yeah.
When you sometimes you build stuff, you build things in separate layers, right?
Yeah.
It's the same. It's the same thing. It's just, you know, the eye is a layer, the hair is a layer. I mean, if they want to go super detailed, like, they'll do, like, the irises and stuff on separate layers, too, so that the, artist can, well, the rigger can, deform it the way that they need to do it. It's really not, it's not complicated, it's just very tedious, and you have to, like, think about it while you're doing it, because, you know, a lot of artists just draw. And then they just merge layers and stuff like that. But, you know,
so
they have...
basically what I used to do when I had access to Photoshop.
Yes. But yeah,
merge
it's really...
layers and then regret it later.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, if you have the basic understanding of it, it's really not that complicated overall. I have a very simple model, so they're not too... There's still, like, a shit ton of layers to my character, but there's not, like, as many as some of the higher end ones. Like, so, like, each front piece of my hair is a layer. The back piece is actually one layer altogether. Your eyes, of course, are on separate layers, each one individually, because, you know, it's so if you have, like, a more expensive rig, you can, like, wink and stuff like that. I mean, I think my model can wink. It's just my parameters are set up in a way so I'm not doing stupid things because I'm wearing glasses. So, you know, that's not easy something for you to do. Winking, not easy to do with glasses. Anyway.
When is your VTuber model gonna get glasses?
Never. Never. I'm too cute for glasses.
But glasses increase the cuteness. Haven't you ever seen the Nolan Colley of Harvey Susan Maya?
Glasses make me look ugly, IRL. I mean, I'm ugly regardless, but you know. I'm pretending to be cute.
You are not ugly.
It was a trap, guys. I just wanted him to say that.
You want to talk about emotional manipulation?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to see if you'd do it. I just wanted to see if you'd say it or not. I wanted to see if you'd say that or if you would slam dunk me into the pavement. Because I never know with the friends I have. Sometimes they just keep going with your joke, and then other times they do things like that.
No, I know how to respond to that kind of stuff because, you know, in 10 years' time, this soundbite is going to get clipped, and it's going to be used to cancel me saying that I hate women.
It's too late, Azure. Now that thing's going to get clipped and say that you hate women. It's okay, Azure. I hate women too. But remember, guys, because of Twitch TOS things, you can have streams called I Hate Men, but you can't have ones that say I hate women. That's just because, you know, apparently women are a special class now. I'm sorry. I'm just like,
You know,
hate speech goes all ways, guys. This is not cool.
Yeah, don't, no hate speech.
Yeah.
Unless it's against the French.
Those damn Frenchies.
I can say that because I pretend to be a British person in my persona. I'm not even like my nationality isn't even British. I'm German.
We're Americans here. I'm sorry. We make fun of everyone equally. So you may be in the wrong place.
That's what's on the plaque on the Statue of Liberty, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're tired masses, so we can make fun of them.
Yeah.
This is why we have some of the best comedy programs in the world.
I make fun of everyone equally. Also, I hate everybody equally. All human beings suck.
Which is why you became a demon.
Yeah. Dogs are clearly the best race.
They
Scientific fact.
They will love you unconditionally.
Mm-hmm. They may be stupid, but they're your stupid.
They're stupid enough for us to understand.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to be friends with a dolphin.
Oh God, dolphins are
someone smarter
pricks.
than you.
Dolphins will drown people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they'll rescue you after trying to drown you, but that's only because they only feel a little bit bad for doing it.
They're trying to get a movie deal out of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like that guy who starts... It's like the fireman who starts a fire so he can put it out.
You gotta feel bad for sharks sometimes, because dolphins will bully sharks.
Mm-hmm.
For no reason.
It's like, haha, you have to keep swimming, otherwise you die.
Mm-hmm. And of course, as we all know, the scariest dolphin of them all is the orca whale. Guys, it's true facts. An orca whale is actually a dolphin.
There was this one comedian bit where it's like, I don't know. I think this happened at like a SeaWorld park or something where one of the handlers had been killed.
Yeah, guys.
By an orca.
Don't keep whales in captivity.
Yeah, and the comedian was like, yeah, it's like, it was weird. Like, SeaWorld's response, it's like, we don't call these killer whales, okay? They're orcas. They're beautiful creatures. Okay, but this orca in particular literally killed someone.
Yeah. It was just waiting its time. Yes, we are the two people you want to see, especially because you came to this stream in particular. I don't know why you want to see us, but hi, how are you doing?
I think that speaks poorly of your tastes, but we appreciate you nonetheless.
Don't you know? I'm sure there are way more talented VTubers who are on right now. Anyway, as you can see, Azure decided to finally change his PNG to the correct BNG.
My boss yelled at me. They told me I couldn't keep coming to work in a skirt.
Yeah, I'm the boss. Only I get to wear the skirt in this relationship, Azure. You knew what you were walking into.
This is very rude.
Like I care about VTubers. True. VTubers, as we were talking about before the stream started, they're very two-faced. Like, they say one thing and then they do the same thing that we're mad about.
We are happy to be your palate cleanser, Sparks.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you. Welcome to the stream. Or
yeah, it's been a fun time. We killed our crocodile.
Yeah, so Anakin's dead.
Ironically enough, it involved fire.
Yeah, he died to a Daramaka.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess he died the suitable death. Yeah.
That's what happened in episode 3, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Obi-Wan punched him into the lava.
Yeah, he punched him into the lava and then he died, right? He couldn't possibly come back as any other character, right?
No.
Nope. No. That was it. That was the end of Anakin. That's how I remember it going.
No, not Anakin. Vader.
Yeah.
Vader killed Anakin.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever seen the original Star Wars?
Yeah, he killed
Obi-Wan
Anakin.
said it himself. He killed him.
Yeah.
The guy who died in episode 3 was Vader.
Yeah. I know my Star Wars lore. I know how this thing works. Just like how I know that Mandalorians are idiots.
Oh yeah. Din Djarin, he is a big himbo.
Not that it's bad being an idiot, but they are they are very, very stupid.
The only, I guess, technically Mandalorian I've ever seen smart in any way were the clone commanders. And I'm not even sure if they count as Mandalorians. They probably don't because they didn't take the creed.
Yeah. I don't think they do. I think you have to be raised as a Mandalorian to be considered a Mandalorian.
Yep. Doesn't matter what your species is.
Mm-hmm. This is not leveling well, man. What do I do? Our Shredder.
Do you want to go back in there and take on the Patriots?
I don't want this. No, the Patriots are mean.
It's like, how are they still waiting? Tom Brady isn't even on the team anymore.
I thought they were losing.
Yeah, they probably are, but the joke didn't work otherwise. That's just me saying I keep up with football.
No, last I heard,
of course,
Tom Brady took all of it with me. Dang, it's almost like Tom Brady isn't that once-in-a-generation Superman who just keeps going and going and going. No. Please retire!
Although I'm a Cowboys fan, which makes me a masochist by default. We were really good in the 90s, haven't been great since.
Well, at least the bright side is that Tom Brady is on another team. They can't hate the Patriots anymore. They can hate somebody else for a change.
No, Bob Belichick is still the head coach, and he's kind of an asshole.
Sounds like my life. Indeed. Isn't that everybody's life?
What? We're worse than Tom Brady? Yeah, that is literally everyone's life.
Yeah, all of us are worse than Tom Brady. This is just like historical fact. And they're like, why are you saying historical fact? Because historically, Tom Brady is a superhuman.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was the one who actually took the super soldier serum from Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
That movie actually happened. It just didn't happen in World War II.
Yeah. I'm begging you.
I guess that makes Elon Musk Iron Man. Oh, we really do live in the worst timeline.
So is Elon Musk going to own Twitter or not? I can't understand what's ever happening in these news.
I don't care.
Okay. True.
I mean, it sounds like there is a very good chance that he might.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if Elon Musk wants to take apart the Bird app, I'm all for it. Because according to him, he doesn't like how things are going on the Bird app.
Mm-hmm.
So, people who just rage on the internet, beware. Or not beware. Because basically it sounds like he's just gonna let you all run rampant now instead of saying, nah, I'm not gonna ban anybody anymore.
It's gonna be the Wild West all over again. Everyone's shooting from the hips.
Mm-hmm. Which I think that's how it should be, you know? And if you don't want to talk to someone, you block them and you get it over with. Also, don't make a scene over the fact that you block them. Just, like, block them and get it over with. Don't do what a lot of VTubers are doing right now to show off that they blocked someone. Sorry if I offend any. I doubt any VTubers are actually watching me. That's okay. I'll never be accepted in this community. I don't want to be. So. But yeah. Okay. You get to say howdy more, true.
I mean, well, it doesn't matter because Elon Musk is not, now that I think about it, Elon Musk, he's not going to have time to take over Twitter. He's too busy going to Mars.
Yeah, he's going to Mars and he's leaving us all behind.
Mm-hmm. Him and Jeff Bezos.
Yep. Theirs will be a romance to tell for the ages. It's still better than Twilight, guys. Still better than Twilight.
Because apparently we can still make jokes about Twilight in 2022.
We can. It's still a terrible piece of written work. I refuse to call romance.
Robert, I know, but Robert Pattinson is playing the Batman now. We have to move on. Almost pretty much everyone who worked on those movies, with the exception of Stephanie Myers, has had a successful career afterwards.
Well, that's
it's like
because,
the opposite of Star Wars.
Yeah, well, that's because Stephanie Myers was a block of wood, like another certain person that I also don't care for as an actress. Brie Larson. Anyway.
No. Stephanie Meyer was the writer.
Oh, Stephanie Meyer.
I'm not talking about, what was her name? Kate something?
What is that chick's name? Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen her in anything since Twilight.
Not Kate Winslet, is it? I'm about to type Twilight into Wikipedia, and it's gonna be on my search history, and I hate that.
Don't do that. Do get up your search.
Too late.
Oh.
Kristen Stewart. Kristen Stewart.
You wanna know what's funny is that Kristen Stewart was actually a better actress when she was younger. Because she was in that movie with the kids, and they were doing like some sort of spy No, they were dressed up like spies, and
she was in Zathura, which is the space version of Jumanji.
But yeah, she was actually a good actress when she was a kid. I don't know what happened. She got into Twilight, that's what happened. But anyway, let's talk about other things, like, have we actually, we haven't talked about it yet, Digimon. Digimon Survive finally has a release date. Unfortunately, that release date is the same as Xenoblade Chronicles 3. And everybody is saying, like, oh, this is gonna kill Digimon. And I'm like, me and my brother are like, I don't know. I feel like Digimon has a bigger following than Xenoblade Chronicles, personally. Yeah, they're what do you mean they're still making Digimon stuff? There's a Digimon anime and everything going on right now.
Well, to be fair, it had been off the air for 2 weeks.
That's true.
Not 2 weeks, 2 months.
I mean, I really like to think it's because they planned to go for break on the 25th episode, but they were just like, oh, leak, oh no, I guess we can't show any of them right now.
Yeah, we got all of our, we're being held hostage.
Yeah. Because I never paid attention to it. You missed out, I can tell you that.
Oh, wow. Well, hang on. We don't know when he was born, so...
Yeah.
That could be Digimon, like, that could be Digimon Savers he's talking about.
Yeah, that's true. He could be talking about...
Oh my god! Digimon Saver was like 14 years ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yep.
I used to watch that show in the mornings before I went to school, like before I went to like high school, and that was in the late 2000s.
Yep.
Oh god.
Azure, have you not noticed time going by? You're 30.
It hurts. Time hurts.
Time does indeed hurt.
I thought time was supposed to heal wounds.
Anyway, so since Digimon Survive is coming out like almost exactly a month before my birthday, my entire birthday month is probably going to be me playing Digimon Survive. Just so we're all clear. So let's see. You're 28, so which Digimon series would that have been?
It would have been 21 years ago.
Been 20...
So that would have been 2001. Mm-hmm. So that probably would have been Digimon 02. No, or Digimon
you know what?
Tamers.
I understand if you weren't interested in Digimon 02. You missed a whole season of relative anime characters doing anime stuff.
It was a season that was fine, but not as good as the one that came before or after.
Yeah.
It is the Star Trek 3 of Digimon.
It's true. It's definitely above a lot of things that came after, but not as good as the Tamers season. Understandable, sir. Have a good day. I would say, I did think at that point it was getting harder to watch certain shows because so many things were changing their marketing and stuff like that. I don't think 4Kids exactly happened just yet, but it was in the process of happening. So...
Yeah, because I remember I was watching Yu-Gi-Oh! In 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Although, I guess that it would have, since they had Pokemon. They had Pokemon for years before that.
Yeah. Well, no, Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Were on the WB.
Sure, okay.
Digimon was on the other channel. It was Fox? No.
Yeah, it was Fox.
Yeah, it was Fox Kids that it was on.
I don't know if I ever told you this story, but did you know how I discovered Pokemon on TV?
How did you discover Pokemon on TV?
So I used to live in Virginia, and in Virginia,
oh my god, Virginia?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Why is it hilarious? Are you saying I'm a virgin?
No, I say that's hilarious because my family was from West Virginia, which is close enough to Virginia. So.
Yeah, I don't know.
East Virginia? No, West Virginia. Why is it Virginia and West Virginia? I never understood that.
I can explain it. It's because
which Virginia is in DC?
Virginia.
Oh, then that's where my family is originally from.
Okay.
Well, not technically.
So do you want the history lesson or not?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's because of the Civil War. During that time, it was just one Virginia. Yeah. It was this big, just like massive, misshapen thing. It looked like it had a tumor.
Oh, okay.
So,
I thought you were going to give me the history of why you started watching Pokemon, not the history of...
Well, do you want both or not?
No, I just want the Pokemon history.
Okay, then. So I guess this ends with Virginia has a tumor. Okay.
Yeah, that's the best place to end the story. I don't think it's going to get better than that, personally.
Right. Well, it is going to get better, because this story involves analog TVs.
Oh.
See, back in those days, the TVs, they had buttons on them. I know, shocking.
Oh, that's not too shocking. We had one with a dial.
And they were boxes.
Yeah.
I'm not shocking to you, but shocking to anyone who's watching this.
Yeah, they were squares back in the day. That's why some of your cartoons, if you want to watch the retro ones, they have like this weird black box on the side. Crazy, right?
Mm-hmm. Although it wasn't just a square; it was a cube.
Yeah.
So
it was
it's
a
like
thick cube. Like you thought, you think that like Game Boy Advances are weird? Dang, you didn't see what a TV looked like.
But anyway, this particular TV had buttons on it that had number buttons on it that let you change the channel like from those buttons. And what had happened was Digimon was on channel 8, and I turned the TV on and I used the buttons to change it to what I think is channel 8. But then I realized that, I put in 5 instead of 8, so I do the previous channel button, and swaps it over. But in the split second before it changes back, I hear something that sounds very familiar. So I flip it back, and lo and behold, it was Pokemon. So basically, I found Pokemon because I misclicked while trying to watch Digimon.
Well, that's understandable. Everybody knows what Pokemon was back then. So.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, of course, I think we had the first 2 movies by that point. And I think we actually had a VHS. For those of you who don't know, a VHS was another box-shaped device, which was on a tape. And you had to put it into a machine that would either play the VHS or completely eat it and destroy it.
That's true. That was calm down. Originally we didn't have the channels where I lived initially. So the only way that we could watch was to buy the VHS tapes. Although at one point, just by watching Xena Princess Warrior, that channel I always had turned on, more or less. I want to say that might have been Fox or something, but
it's one of the two, because I remember I remember seeing Xena like before something. I don't remember if it was Pokemon or Digimon.
And this wasn't how I discovered Pokemon or anything. This was how I discovered Sailor Moon, because Sailor Moon also came on the same channel as Xena Princess Warrior. You might see that there might be a theme going on that channel. But anyway.
Was that WB then? Because
it might have been
I didn't
WB.
imagine it being on Fox.
It was the Deke dub back in the day for Sailor Moon. Nobody remembers Deke. Anyway.
The only time I ever saw Sailor Moon was on Toonami.
Yeah, no, it wasn't on. Toonami didn't exist yet. Cartoon Network didn't exist yet. As much of a weird logic as that may be for some people, I like to think that Cartoon Network now doesn't exist at all because, all they do is run the same show over and over again.
Do you remember those old promos they used to do where it's
that was
all
so
the cartoon characters lived in a Toontown together?
Yeah, all of those bumpers are actually on YouTube. Someone got a bunch of them and managed and has them on YouTube.
It's crazy. I remember
You want to know what also exists on YouTube?
What's that?
The Scooby-Doo weird short that they made where Scooby-Doo and it was filmed like they were in one of those modern horror movies with the shaky camera and everything like that.
I never saw that.
And it's really hilarious because Daphne loses her shit in it.
I need to look this up then. I've never seen that. Yeah, I remember there was one bumper where it was Scooby and Courage were together.
Mm-hmm.
It's just creative stuff like that.
Yeah. They used to do some really interesting stuff. I'm just saying
And then there was the whole cartoon Friday night thing where it's everyone worked at that office build. All the cartoons worked at that office building and they would basically get into fights with each other.
Yeah. Or how about the Cartoon Fridays where a character got to host every Friday. And then one of the Fridays there was a mix-up and then 3 people were hosting at the same time.
Although, that reminds me of something similar. This was on Nickelodeon, but Kablam.
Yeah.
You remember Kablam?
Yeah, I remember Kablam with the
to be fair, I think the only funny short that was on Kablam was the Action Heroes one.
Here it is. I found Sorry guys, I'm distracted. I have to send this over to Azure so he can watch the Scooby-Doo Halloween thing that they did.
It is entirely possible that I've seen. Let's see.
If you were a kid watching this, you would have been legitimately frightened, probably, by some
Well, this would have come out, shortly after the Witch Blair Project came out.
Yeah. How dare I get distracted on this day of Pokemon where Look, I'm in mourning, okay? Anakin died, and he did nothing to deserve that.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a Blair Witch Project parody.
Yeah, it is. Although the sad thing is that this is I think this was one of the last thing that Daphne's original voice actress recorded before she committed suicide. So.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Daphne's original VA committed suicide. Awkward. Anyway.
Okay, see, this is the kind of live action we want on Cartoon Network. These kind of skits.
Yeah.
Do you remember when they did the presidential election? I know that, like, Ed and Grimm were, like, the incumbent president. I know that Plank was running as an independent.
Plank won, didn't he? If I
don't remember. I think I voted for Plank, though.
I voted for Plank. Plank would have made a great president, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I think Grimm is connected to too many deaths that have happened in the past of the presidency. And, you know, Ed was just a scummy guy. So...
Ed is well. I mean, it was single D Ed. He was the simpleton, which you know, but he caused a whole lot. He was like the #1 cause of property damage in that neighborhood.
Like, how many people did he have to pay off to get to that position? You know.
This is incredibly well made.
I just wanted Plank to win.
This does remind me, they did an Ed, Edd and Eddy marathon, and they felt like the promos for it were done in the style of Jackass. I think that Ed, Edd and Eddy was probably my favorite cartoon on Cartoon Network.
Well, I think it's because I think, like... So, what's great about Ed, Edd and Eddy is that I feel like that the characters are realistic in the sense that everybody's a jerk. The main characters, the other kids, the Kanker sisters, everyone's a jerk.
These are absolutely kids.
Yeah.
These are real kids.
Yeah. 48. My friend would be telling me back in 5 minutes. That was 48. 8 minutes ago. Oh no. Did they go out? Did they go out for pizza without you? But yeah, I'm glad that we can now tell you our regale of me sending Azure the Blair Witch Scooby-Doo project. I feel like one of these days I should just do a stream where I watch stuff on YouTube. I mean, all the other streamers do it, so.
I do. Yeah. It's like we need to go back and look at the old promos for our cartoon shows.
Yeah. I need to show you kids what things were like back in my day.
I know that everyone's like cartoons were better when I was a kid, but in our case it was true.
I would also argue that the 80s also did have some good stuff here and there. I mean, Thundercats isn't all bad. I mean, you know, the 80s were using what they could work with. They had to have one of those stupid promos at the end to tell kids what not to do.
Remember, kids, if you see a bottle of bleach underneath your parents' sink, don't drink it.
That's the G.I. Joe way.
Mm-hmm. Transformers.
I think what it is about the 80s cartoons is I admire what they were able to do with the limitations that they had. They had a lot of limitations. Nowadays, it's the Wild West. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but, you know, just because you can do whatever the fuck you want doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like you have to be clever with it.
Yeah.
Because it's like that Adult Swim show Smiling Friends, where it's like it's very cheap looking, but what they do with it is clever.
Yeah.
As opposed to something that someone that Bored Apes thing that they just
I mean, I've only seen bits and pieces of Lost Space. Is that what its name is? But it seems very interesting from what I've seen. Like, you think it's gonna be a usual adult cartoon.
Lost Space?
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that one.
It has an actual overarching story and stuff like that, which most adult cartoons don't do. Well, see, of course, this is why I'm giving it some praise, because most adult cartoons, for some reason, are the most juvenile things I have ever fucking seen. And I'm like, guys, just because it's adult cartoons doesn't mean that I just want poopy humor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'd like you to be a little more creative with your stuff. I mean, it's not to say that you can't have your comedy series, But it's like, why is it just comedy? Why isn't there any adult horror cartoons or adult epics or something like that?
I mean, there is an adult horror cartoon. It's called Supernatural, but I don't think we want to go down that road.
But I'm just saying. I'm just saying, guys. Oi, what's wrong with Supernatural? Supernatural has overstayed its welcome. That's what's wrong with Supernatural. It's basically like The Simpsons of live-action series. I mean,
It's like how often can you be faced with an apocalypse in Thornton?
It ended, though. Oh, did it end recently? I know it was still going, like, a year or two ago. But, you know, that may just be me slipping through time again. So... I could have swore I heard on the radio that there were episodes coming out here and there.
Let's look it up.
3 years ago isn't that long ago. 3 years ago means that it was still overstaying its welcome.
What are you talking about? 3 years ago was March 2021.
2020. Well, this is the reason why Supernatural ended. It took the pandemic to kill it, finally. It would have kept going beside if it wasn't for that, I feel like.
I'm just saying, 15 years is too long for a show. Especially a show on the CW, because you know it has no budget.
Oh god, the CW. Please cancel all those superhero shows, I'm begging you. The only saving grace out of all of them was Flash, but once they started introducing all the characters involved with Flash, then it just got too overwhelming. Too many characters.
Yeah, it all went downhill when Ezra Miller showed up.
Mm-hmm.
In that one scene.
25 episodes, 45 minutes long as a season. What, are you still trying to say that Supernatural didn't overstay its welcome?
Star Trek ran for 7 seasons. Like, each Star Trek show, on average, ran for 7 seasons.
Look, if you want to say series that overstayed their welcome, I'm going to make you watch Charmed. How does that make you...
Oh, God, I remember the promos for Charmed.
I'll make you watch Charmed.
Was that on WB?
I mean, unironically, I liked Charmed for what it was. But except, you know... when it got really weird in some places, when it started to clearly see that they were just out of ideas, which happened very, very easy. I was still mad that they killed off names I forget, Phoebe's demon boyfriend. He didn't deserve to go that way. He didn't deserve to go crazy and go through all this character development only to backtrack and then to be treated like the bad guy all the time. Look, I liked him because he was written like a character. All the characters at times seemed like it was just the actresses trying to make themselves look good. I'd watch the reboot, but you know, I just think some things deserve to stay in their time period, you know?
Some things don't need to be rebooted.
Yeah. Charmed was a product of its time. And it deserves to stay the way it was.
Let's not get necromancy involved, because it always ends bad, whether it would be a human body or a TV property. Because that's what reboots usually are. It's just reanimated corpses.
So has the Powerpuff Girls thing been officially canceled for 100% yet, or not? Or are they still trying to revive that thing with the paddles, even though it's been dead for a day?
I don't wanna...
They just keep trying to revive that dead fish, even though it's been out of water for a day, you know?
I'm not seeing anything on Wikipedia about it. It's just saying that the guy dropped out.
Oh, thank God. I think that the guy was from the guy who was going to play the professor was the guy from Scrubs, right?
Which guy from Scrubs? Let's see.
I don't want to say it because that's a bad description. I feel like. Because I don't know his name, and I don't want to say the descriptor for who he is.
Okay. So the guy who had to take over because the lead in Scrubs left the show after 9th season.
Yeah.
That was another show that overstayed its welcome, was Scrubs.
Scrubs, The Office, what other ones? Simpsons, The Simpsons, Family Guy, American
Family Guy,
Dad.
definitely.
I just wish people went on to work on new projects or something. I mean, I get Family Guy is easy because all they do is sit on the couch and talk. So, you don't need to animate anything. Like, literally. Everybody complains about that. Anime doesn't have animation. Family Guy doesn't have animation.
Yeah, no, I've seen videos, like, tearing apart Family Guy's quote-unquote animation.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because if you look back in, like, the first few seasons, it actually did look really good.
Yeah.
It was so much more freaking, whatchamacallit, had much more charm to it.
Well, that's because that was pre-digital era.
Yeah, that's true.
Once things start going digital, you'll find some things are not as charming as they once were. Not to say that there can't be good stuff produced with digital media. Trust me, all of the Fate series look phenomenal. But what I'm saying is that you have to put the effort in if you're gonna, use better equipment and stuff like that. You can't just half-ass it.
Because then it looks like a PS2 cutscene, even though it's 2016.
Yeah. It's like I'm saying for, like, if you compare some of, like, the older episodes of Spongebob to the newer ones, it's oddly weird about how clear everything is when they're living under the sea. In the earlier episodes, you could see that everything kind of had a blue tint to it.
Yeah.
But now everything's just clear and crisp, and it's weird. Also, it's just generally not funny anymore, so... SpongeBob, another series that has overstayed its welcome. Fairly Odd Parents overstayed its welcome.
Fairly Odd Parents has overstayed its welcome so hard it's gone into spin-off territory.
Mm-hmm.
Live-action spin-off territory. Again, who asked for that? Nobody asked for that!
Nobody wanted this!
Look, just because it worked for one SpongeBob movie does not mean it's going to work for Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, but, like, the characters were self-CG animated in the...
I know.
In the SpongeBob movie, so I don't think it counts. Look, just because... Okay, here's a better comparison. Just because SpongeBob the musical worked doesn't mean that everybody wants to see people in live action. Caprinde?
I'm trying to think of what else. What else from our childhoods have been ruined just by overstaying their welcome?
I mean, no comprende. No comprende! Oi, what am I gonna do with these guys? When I say comprende, you say comprende. Capiche?
Nani?
Nani the fuck?
No hablo español.
Yeah, that's pretty good, but you just... Sorry, I'm thinking of that one Family Guy joke that I think is kind of funny. It's like, but you said it wrong. It's like, oh, you speak English? Nah, just that sentence, and then this sentence explaining that. And it's
See,
like,
that's funny.
yeah, you're joking, right? Okay.
And actually, another thing that I'm concerned about is the Futurama reboot. Or not, I guess not reboot, I guess it would be a continuation.
I mean, the original see, unlike with Simpsons, I believe the guy who wrote it was with Futurama for most of it, wasn't he?
Yeah, but I mean, like, at a certain point, it's just like you run out of ideas.
Yeah. So I don't know why they're doing a reboot, unless he wanted to do one last thing with Fry and Leela for only one season, but I don't think it could go on for more than one season.
But,
I don't know. Maybe it's because Disenchantment isn't kicking off as much as he hoped it would.
Maybe. That's probably why.
I don't.
Shame, I like Disenchantment.
Yeah, I don't think Disenchantment is that bad, honestly. I don't know why everybody's ragging on it, and I'm like, but it's trying to do its own thing. It's got a overarching story. And I'm going to say that the romance going on between the main lead and her mermaid lady is pretty interesting. Not gonna lie. I liked where this is going. Mm-hmm. It's written nicely.
It's like, going back to Futurama, I liked the series finale that they came up with for that. Like, I don't think they can top that.
That was when Fry and Leela were stuck in time, right?
Yeah, and they basically, like, lived, like, an entire lifetime together.
Yep. Only to get retconned in the end.
Mm-hmm. Which I feel like that's one of the biggest things that Futurama ever had over, like, Family Guy. I can't say Simpsons because I haven't seen enough of the Simpsons, but, like, Futurama was never been down, like, the pessimistic route.
Yeah. What I hate about the Family Guy is about how much the characters have, I don't know, de-evolved over time rather than, like, at least in Futurama, all the characters roughly stick to their guns more or less. Sure, there would be some big plot things and they'd actually go through some character development, and they change a little bit. And they usually change for the better, instead of changing for the worst, like what happens in Family Guy.
Yeah. It's like it's not like Amy Wong like devolved into like the butt of like every joke that everyone hates.
Yeah.
It's like the joke is that we hate her. Okay, but why is that funny?
Yeah. But in Family Guy, the only character who is now more interesting is Stewie. Because before, Stewie was just someone who wanted to kill his mom. Now he doesn't do that anymore, really.
Yeah.
Now he's just the kid who may be gay or bisexual when he grows up.
Mm-hmm. You know, better that than being charged with matricide.
Yeah.
Not to be confused with matricide, which is where you throw a mattress off a roof.
So yeah, the only character who's come out of the Family Guy characters getting worse and worse over time is Stewie. But that's only because Stewie didn't have much to begin with.
I mean, going from wanting to kill your mom to not wanting to kill your mom is positive character growth.
Yeah.
That counts. So here's the thing. That joke would work if Meg was constantly a terrible person. But she's not. The joke seems to be that, like, they just hate her just because they think that's funny.
Yeah.
Or I think that funny. It's not like with Zoidberg in Futurama, where he is annoying, he's a moocher, and he's like just like constantly like forcing his way into things.
Yeah. It's also not like that. Although it's also interesting to say that the characters also don't explicitly hate Zoidberg, because they were at least relieved when he decided not to have sex and he wasn't eaten in the end.
That is true.
Yeah. So they don't hate him enough that they want him dead, which seems to be like with Meg in some of these jokes. Because they do seem to go that route sometimes. Yeah. Why am I back here? I'm just used to going and healing my Pokemon every time I battle now because, you know, I'm traumatized.
Yeah.
I'm traumatized. Because one shot, guys.
No, she's losing her will to live. We must work quickly to save the babies.
Everything I do is meaningless. I lost our one ace in the hole.
I mean, everything would be meaningless even if we didn't lose our ace in the hole. Let's look up what level we should be at. What is her name again? I can't, it's escaping me.
Lightning Lady. I don't know. I can't think anything right now.
I bet you if I type in Emolga, it'll tell me like what her name is.
Don't cause an uproar. Story time is real stream. Pokemon is just backdrop. That is true. Let's be real. That's how it is for all Pokemon streams.
Elisa, that's it.
Elisa.
But they spell it with an E instead of an I because it's supposed to be like electric.
Yeah.
Sorry, I just opened her picture and I immediately got drawn in by her legs.
The only one with the special sprite. The only one. The only one.
27 is her zebra.
No.
She's also the only character to dye her hair.
Yeah. Dope-a-dope-dope. Thank you for the follow, strange person who I've never seen before. I assume that you're lurking over there in chat. But thank you for deciding to join us forever. Until you decide that this was a bad idea and unsub.
Look at this extra bitch using her Emolga to fly.
Thank you. I'm glad you like my voice, unless it's Azure's voice that you actually like.
Sultry tones, baby.
Your favorite are Marwile and Curlia and Moletta. Wow.
Okay, so you have a mommy fetish and a vor
Azure,
fetish.
no! We don't know this person yet. We need to be careful. We may lose them.
We know their fetishes.
Run, new viewer. Run! It's not too late for you. I'm stuck here because I forced him here. I summoned his spirit from beyond the veil, and now this is his haunting me for this.
It's your own fault.
That's true. It is my fault.
You dragged me into this.
I should have known what I was getting to when I summoned the ghost train. I didn't realize that it came with a train station and a station master too.
How do you think I get to the station? I don't have a car. My character lives in Britain. People in Britain don't have cars.
Why? Because of too much traffic?
Well, no, because they have an actual functional train system.
Oh. America's too big for a train system. We've been over this, Azure.
Yes, we have. Too much open space.
Too much. Too much to get from point A to point B. You don't even want to get on our subways, trust me.
For different reasons. Not because of how long it takes, but because you might get stabbed. You probably will be stabbed. Or urinated on. Or stabbed and then urinated on. If you're in New York.
We can't all have nice fancy trains like they do in Japan. Even though in those, they're just stuffed full of people, so, like, you know, they're probably being peed on.
Do you like BO? You will. You know, I hope you do. Modern trains are boring. They're all multiple trains. Passenger trains, I mean.
The only trains I get to be on are the ones that are just fake set up for you to ride from point A to point B, which, you know, is like not even a few miles, more or less. Like all the ones they have up in New Hampshire. You've been to New Hampshire, right? Probably not. There's nothing really much to do besides to ride trains in New Hampshire. So, in
yes,
this...
the most famous American railroads. Norfolk Western, Union Pacific, the Pennsylvania Railroad, New Hampshire.
Yeah, in New Hampshire, they have this place called Clark's Trading Post. And in it, you can ride this train. And while you're on the train, you get chased by the wild man who lives in the forest on his it's as we say four-wheeler, but it's one of those off-roading mobiles. He follows us. And our point is like, oh no, we better get back to the station, guys. We'll be attacked by the wild man.
It's like GTA. As long as you get home, you won't be attacked by the police.
Yeah.
Ignoring the fact that I don't think the station will protect you.
My mom has a picture of my brother with the wild man. Because you get to take a picture with him at the end of the ride. He's like this guy who wears, I think he's got like an eye patch, and he's got like really wild hair, and he wears like a fur vest. It's a very interesting thing. We thought it was the best thing ever when we were kids.
I see.
And then Mom...
So what you're telling me is you found the Sasquatch.
Yeah. And then Mom would make us go to the vintage picture area, and we would all dress up in old-timey clothes, and that was what Mom wanted. And you do what Mom wanted. You dress up in the saloon wear, and you like it.
Reminds me of my mom. Like, she always wanted us to, like, get involved in, like, theater stuff, but, like, from the get-go, I was completely disinterested. And the one time my brother did it, he only got a bit role, and he was completely, like, not into it. Mm-hmm. And he was just, like, just kind of, like, wandered off the stage. And she was so pissed off.
My brother would never partake in the photos. But my dad was like, look, this is the one thing that your mother wants. At least, like, it was only photo. It wasn't like she was forcing us to do anything else. She's like, it's the one thing your mom really wants. Please, just take the photo.
My mom didn't want me dressing up as anime characters for Halloween.
My mom...
She wanted me to be a traditional monster.
My mom 100% supported me in everything that I did.
My mom, it took a while to teach her that I am not like most people. Mm-hmm. My parents had their own idea of what was normal, and I was basically their recalibration.
Bum, bum, bum.
Recalibration, that didn't happen until I was in college.
My mom was like, look, I don't care if you're into weird cartoons. I'm just glad you're not doing drugs.
Yeah, that's what my parents were doing at my age.
Yeah.
They've admitted to that.
Yeah, my parents also admitted that they were doing the drugs when they were younger. I'm glad you don't do drugs either. Thank you.
Well, no, we do. It's just nowadays they're called prescription medications.
That's true. I mean, I don't really take other prescription medication other than for my asthma. But,
And you're on the drugs.
That's fine. I don't think I need anything to solve any other issues with me. That I know. I think a doctor would have said something by now.
Hey, if that works for you, that works for you.
Yeah, if they think I would have actually needed the ADHD medicine. But what do I know?
I absolutely needed it.
Although the problem is with ADHD with girls, it's harder to depict it or determine it, diagnose it, because ADHD.
Yes. How do you depict a neurological defect?
I don't know. It's very hard.
I drew a butterfly.
Yes. It's harder because ADHD is very different in girls than it is in boys. I think one of the things I've read about it is that ADHD girls tend to be a lot more quiet, and like they'll go to the corner and stuff like that. So that's why, you know, they'll just assume that the girl is shy or something like that, and so that's why, you know, it won't get picked up on. Not like they'll still have their, you know, outbursts and stuff, but they'll usually do it in more like a place that they're more comfortable in. So, yeah. At least that's what I read. I don't know for sure. I'm not an expert. I'm not self-diagnosing myself or anything like that. According to my mom, she's pretty sure I have it. But my mom, but you have to also know, my mom is a preschool teacher who has a degree in specifically handling kids who have development issues. So, you know.
I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was like probably in like 2nd or 3rd grade, and my parents didn't want to do anything about it because they were concerned that the medication would turn me into a zombie.
Well, I mean, it's difficult sometimes because, you know, sometimes the medication does have really bad side effects. So, you know, I don't 100% blame your parent. I don't know if you blame your parents.
I don't either. I don't. It's not their fault. It was just that was the way of thinking at the time.
Yeah, that was
there was less knowledge about that kind of stuff back then.
Yeah. And ADHD medicine isn't 100% the same throughout all people, which is why medication is like terrible sometimes.
It's almost like your brain is just a giant soup of chemicals.
Yeah.
That like it's like it is a miracle that it works at all.
Yeah. Because like if you have one medication that works and then they decide to change your medication and then the new medication doesn't work at all.
And then sometimes maybe the chemicals in your brain just say, "Hey, we're not going to let the medication work anymore."
Yeah. So it's very complicated.
And so we've gone from talking about Cartoon Network to ADHD.
Look, we've already established that this is how our brains work with ADHD. So, you know, they're gonna have to get used to that in conversations. Just go off the deep end.
We really should do our own podcast. We'd never have trouble coming up with a topic.
Yeah. Gee, it's almost like we did try to do a podcast at one time. We're going back to that at one point. We're going back to TMI. Don't worry, TMI is going to come back.
Does that really count as a podcast? It feels more like a...
I like to think it does. I mean, I'm trying to inform you guys about historical facts, and then Azure does a weird thing, and then we get off topic. So, you know, I think it's close enough to a podcast. Look, at least we're not one of those true crime podcasts. People who just regurgitate a crime that happened and give you all those gory details. And then they speculate things that everybody else also speculates about the case.
Yes, Inuyasha. I have very mixed feelings about that experience.
On the one hand, it's a better thing than most things get these days. On the other hand, bad UI.
Yes. Something that we came to appreciate in our Final Fantasy XI playthrough.
Yeah.
Have you kept up with Yashahime?
Yeah.
Because I know that they brought in the nostalgia characters.
Yeah.
How did that go?
It's so bad written. It's just...
I'm concerned because from what I have seen, I mean, obviously Inuyasha, whatever, he's a demon. Kagome looks exactly the same, and I feel like...
It's because, okay, there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Also, but it's a bad reason because Moroku and Sango also look roughly the same age, and it's pissing me off. torment.
I guess Kagome had her child at the ripe old age of 14.
No, Kagome had a child around. Let me do the math. So she went back at 18. It was probably around 19 or 20 that she had her kid.
She looks no different than when she was 14.
Yep.
I feel that's concerning.
Yep. And also remember, the characters of Yashahime are 14. So the characters, so they're not making the characters look older. They're making the new, younger characters look younger. I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I guess in kind of a sense because they're half demons, so I guess technically they would look younger for their age, but at the same time,
wouldn't the, I don't know what her name is, but wouldn't Kagome's daughter be only a quarter demon?
Yeah, Kagome's daughter is only a quarter demon, which also begs the question. We don't know for sure how the aging process is going to work for that one. But I know she's a year younger. Let this sink in. Shishomaru had the sex with Rin. Her daughters.
That is already a non-starter for me.
So let's just let that sink in for a little bit. Which I guess I can.
All those Chris Hansen jokes that people made in the 2000s ended up being completely justified.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's the feudal era. Things like that happen. I can wrap my head around it. But what I can't wrap my head around is that Rin had a daughter, had two twin daughters, before Kagome had her kid. This is what I can't wrap my head around. So Rin, because I'm still doing the math, imagine having the sex. I know, imagine having the sex. I still may be doing the math wrong. I do think Sango's kids were like...
once a week.
3.
Once a week. That's how often I imagine having the sex.
Yeah. I want to say her twin... Sango, I want to say Sango's twins were 3 by the time Kagome got preggers. So, Kagome was probably 21 when she had Maraha, if I'm doing the math properly. Rin, by the end of the series, was 14 or 15. And it's fine if you want to do that. That is when they'd probably have kids back then. But at least let Kagome have a kid before her. That was all I just wanted, because it just would make me feel a little better, okay? By my modern sensibilities, it'd make me feel better, because then there'd be like one more year that I could convince myself Rin didn't have the sex with Shishomaru. Personally, I just think the story would have been way more interesting if there was like some other time traveler or something who had the kids, and I feel like it would make more sense with the time traveling stuff that was going on in the series. But, you know, they didn't even play into the time traveling thing. The time traveling was one episode and that was it.
You're making a mystery.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, who's our mom? I don't know. Let's find out. It's someone from the future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that would have been way more interesting and would have caused a lot of less problems with people's feelings on the Rin. Although it seems like, in general, people are 100% supportive of it. And this is what I get a little annoyed about it. Because, it's one thing is not okay, but this is perfectly, totally fine. Or rather...
You do not play with barbecue sauce packets because you could squeeze it too hard and send the barbecue sauce flying everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just real life issue.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second. Hang on.
But anyway.
Gotta step away from the PC.
Anyway, my opinion is like, I'm on the equal size. Don't attack people if they like Shishomaru and Rim. Don't attack people if they don't like Shishomaru and Rin. I don't like that the unequal, like, treatment of people who don't think that this is okay are, like, you know, this is less of a problem.
Yeah, back.
But yeah, I was, like, talking about, it's like, I don't like that people get treated that, who, you know, don't like it, are like, oh, but the Shishomaru wasn't really like a father figure or anything. Jokin was more like a father figure, which is true. Jokin was, in the end, more like the father figure, even though, you know, it's mostly because Shishomaru dumped her on him all the time. So, Jokin wasn't taking care of her by choice. Really, the real relationship is Jokin and Shishomaru. Shishomaru is the deadbeat dad who left her on the other dad.
You're spending the weekend at your other dad's. You're spending the weekend at your other dad's house.
At least that's kind of how I view it in the end. I mean, because I think it's just like I just liked the Kagura Shishomaru relationship, even though that wasn't really a relationship. It was that she liked him and he was accepting of her. But she died, and that's how things be, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think it would have been interesting to have, like, maybe the future self was her reincarnation or something like that.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. That actually would have been cool.
That would have been like, cool.
Because isn't Kagome like the reincarnation of that other
woman? Kagome is like the reincarnation of Kikyo. So
yeah,
like it would have created like kind of a dichotomy between Shishomaru and Inuyasha, and the fact that the more they try to be dissimilar to each other, the more they're alike, you know? Cause you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like.
But that would require forethought.
Yeah, that would require writing and, you know, thinking things through. I just think this would have been a more interesting thing than Rin being the mom, because, you know, she's the only human around that Shishomaru will accept. Because haha, the guy who hated half demons now has half demon children. But what are you gonna do? They're like, yeah, but there was all those things when Shishomaru proposed to Rin, and that was canonical sound thing. I don't care about the canonical sound disc that I had to see to know anything about it.
It didn't happen in the manga. It's not canon.
It didn't happen in the manga. Mm-hmm. As far as I'm concerned, I don't know. Maybe the manga of Yashahime will do it better. I'd have to wait to see if there are going to be actual translations of that. It seems like they're probably going to do their own thing for that one, because in the present time, it was an interesting, like, first chapter from what I saw. So, you know, there's, like, only very vaguely is the present and the past consistently connected to each other. The one thing that is connected between the two is ghosts. So ghosts are around, and they still exist in the modern era, and so it turns out Toa has been slaying ghosts, or I guess exorcising ghosts, in the modern era in the first chapter of Yashahime, and I'm like, okay, this is a much more interesting setup than the manga, because, you know, it establishes she's a little quirky. She her dad is her adoptive dad is very active in her life, because he was trying to film her exorcising a ghost, but ghosts don't show up on film. But Soda can see him because, you know, he's got, you know, shrine inherited powers too, like Kagome. So yeah. His daughter, however, it doesn't seem like she can see anything. I still don't know 100% how the season of Yashahime ended. Some people say it does seem like they've left some stuff open to have maybe a third season, which I say, they shouldn't. The Kirin Maru stuff was just badly written. But anyway, besides that, it was more of like, oh, I don't think they ever really properly returned to the present, or as I say, modern era at any point. Because, haha, remember how Tewa promised her adoptive sister that she would come by and see her again? I don't think that's gonna happen. Not to say that, you know, pack demons can't live to be 500 years old, but... Because in case if you guys don't know, the time... Because for some reason, the time still flows equally from the past to the present. So they run alongside each other, and it's like exactly 500 years apart from one another. At all times. That's how the time travel works. For some reason.
That is unusual.
Yeah. Which is why I'm still on... I'm still in the belief that I think these places take place not in 100% the same world. I think they do take place in different worlds that are running simultaneously alongside each other, even if they have some things that are very similar to one another, because... Why haven't anybody dug up Kagome's ramen cups, huh? You can't be telling me she actually went out and threw those away in present time. I don't fucking believe it. Not with how many times she loses her goddamn bag in the series.
Well, that's the thing. What does it take? Like 500 years? It's like 400 years for plastic to degrade. So maybe it hasn't actually. Maybe it has actually degraded within time.
Maybe. I don't know. I just think it's weird that nothing from Kagome's escapades in the past have ended up in the future. Especially things like her goddamn metal bike.
I'm imagining. Well, obviously it was the feudal era, so the bike would have been destroyed because people thought it was a demon.
Anyway, welcome to Cherry is annoyed by the time travel in Inuyasha sometimes. And I'm like, is there actually time travel going on, or is there not? Because, you know, actions should have consequences. I don't care if it was a magical wish that Kikyo wanted to live a normal life, but she also wanted to see Inuyasha again. So, you know, it created a time fucking paradox in order for that to happen.
Sorry, but anime time paradox just gives me Tsubasa trauma, PTSD.
Don't get me started on the time travel and fucking Tsubasa.
Star Trek Voyager had more coherent time travel than Tsubasa did. And Star Trek Voyager broke every rule of time travel in the book.
Of course, but this is just me in general saying Clamp should never be allowed to write a series that's more than 6 volumes long. Every time they pass the 6-volume mark, something gets very screwy, if you don't happen to notice. There are a few things that are in between that they can do a little longer, but that's only because some of them are split up. Like, for example, Cardcaptor Sakura, I believe, is 12 volumes long, but it's split up into 2 different arcs. So, you know.
And they're very different from each other.
Yeah. So, that's fine.
So it would technically be 3.
Yeah. So I guess maybe like this is the 12-volume mark, really, that they can do things and still be coherently thinking through things. Because I just wish they just stuck to the beginning of the series formula for Tsubasa, and they didn't get all into that fucking angst. I have no idea what is with Clamp's hard-on for just wanting to drive everything, because they're doing it with Cardcaptor Sakura, too. They're doing it with Cardcaptor Sakura now, where they're giving all the angst into Cardcaptor Sakura, because, you know, it wasn't depressing, so now they have to make it depressing. They're doing it for the clear arc, and it's pissing me the fuck off.
They have to set it up so that, it leads into Tsubasa.
but doesn't take place in the same universe. It's not the same.
Maybe it does now.
It doesn't, because her wand was the same one that she had at the ending of the second season of
the same wand that Yuko had in Holic.
Yeah. Because now the wand that she has is completely different from the one that she had in the thing.
Praying, using small details like that to hope that your worst fear doesn't come true. That's what a Star Wars fan is.
No, I'm this is why I'm saying Clamp are terrible authors. I'm sorry. Even though that they're great, they're like a great female group and stuff, and they've kind of defined a lot of things. They created lollies. What can we... What
Excuse
can't
me?
we... Yeah, don't you know, Clamp is actually responsible for the lolly trend. Basically, because Clamp was, like, taking off and doing, like, all these different genres when they were, like, starting off. So, like, Clamp, the way they do things is they don't do things in a traditional sense. They do whatever, they, like, throw things at a dartboard, and they're like, let's do a Satan. That's also a yaoi, even though this is not a very good yaoi couple. Don't watch Tokyo Babylon. I know it's getting a new anime. Don't watch Tokyo Babylon. Don't do it.
Oh,
Subaru and Seijiro is not a very good relationship.
Well, I mean, to be fair, a lot of relationships in Clamp's works are not good relationships.
No, they're very toxic.
Even in Cardcaptor Sakura with the teacher and the student.
Oh,
the fourth
which
grade
ones?
student.
There's more than one. There's more than one, even for that description, Azure.
It's funny because it's like, I guess Shaoran and Sakura are okay, but the only one that actually had like any interest in to me, Yukito and Sakura's brother.
Yukito and Toya are the only two who have a healthy relationship, but that's probably because Toya was in an unhealthy relationship previously, because, you know, his hot school teacher that he was in a relationship with as a middle schooler dumped him for a younger man.
I didn't even know that. I haven't read the manga of Cardcaptor.
Oh, no, yeah. The female, the moon teacher is actually Errol's love interest. Yeah. Let that sink in.
That, oh my god, that makes so much goddamn sense now.
Yeah. Let that rest in your nougat. What I was saying, that there is more than one teacher who is with a fourth grader.
That had to have been cut from the anime.
Oh, it was cut in the original anime. I think they brought it back for the new anime.
Because it's, which is funny because they like flat out wrote, like, the fourth grade girl who was in the relationship with her teacher, they wrote her out of the show. Yeah.
Well, they wrote her out in the manga too. She goes to a different school now.
Mm-hmm. And I figured the reason was because, we don't want to talk about the fact that she was betrothed to her teacher.
Mm-hmm. But, you know, Errol and that other lady is still going strong. That lady in her 30s.
When it's between a female teacher and a boy, that's perfectly normal.
Apparently.
Which, I mean,
even though the boy is now only in middle school.
Which, now that I think about it, is kind of probably truer than we want it to be.
Yeah, that's probably truer in real life than we want it to be.
Yeah.
It's pretty disgusting, guys. No adult should be pursuing a child.
If they are, they are not a good partner.
Mm-hmm.
They would not make a good partner.
No. God. Oh, I gotta be sick. Make things worse. Sakura's parents, also a teacher, student.
Another teacher, student. Okay, that I did know. What is the name of this? What is the name of the town?
I can't remember.
What is going on in this town? Where are the cops?
I also find it absolutely hilarious that how, okay, so, do you remember the plot point about how, her grandfather and parents didn't approve of the relationship, and they were written like the bad guys in that situation.
I don't remember that. I don't know if that was brought up in the anime.
Oh, actually, it was. Well, in the Canadian version, the old man that Sakura hangs out with at the summer house that they went to go spend is actually her mom's grandpa.
Is that how it is in the Japanese version too?
Yes.
Okay. I know the episode you're talking about. I did not remember that relation though.
Yeah.
It has probably been 5 years since I have watched Sakura.
And he was the one who majorly didn't approve of his precious granddaughter being in a relationship with an unsavory man. But he was written as like the bad guy in that situation.
Yeah, but I mean, like in most situations, it's like, oh, it's the grandfather being protective of his daughter. The only problem is, in most of those situations where that would happen, the daughter is of legal age.
Yeah. In this situation, she was not of legal age. Let also be clear, she was definitely not of legal age when she got pregnant with Toya. I did the math. Because there's like 5 years difference between him and Sakura, I think. Because he's in the end of high school when she's in like the middle range of elementary school.
Sorry, but what man... Have you ever seen a man in his 20s teaching at high school?
Nope.
I've always... I know that they...
Unless he was a student teacher.
Professors. They're college professors is what they are.
Yeah, unless he was a student teacher. But anyway... because student teachers do end up teaching it, but usually they're in elementary schools. Anyway.
And usually they're women.
Yeah.
Most of the male teachers end up at colleges.
Yeah. But anyway, so the situation, and so that he apologized to the man in the end, because I also did like the math, because I believe Sakura's mother died when she was like 28 or something like that, and I'm doing the math, and I'm like, wait a second.
Toya's in high school.
Yeah.
And she's 28.
Yeah.
That doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Unless, oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
That does not work. Oh, something is wrong.
She was 28
that just does not.
20. I don't know. I need to remember what exactly. She may have been early 30s, but regardless, she was way too young to have Toya.
I mean, Toya has to be like 16.
Yeah. Hang on.
I'm trying to think. I feel like Toya is like 6 years older than Sakura, if I remember that from the manga.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Card draft to Sakura's mom. Nadeshiko. Let's see, Nadeshiko. She died at the age of 27.
It's worse!
Yeah, it's worse!
Someone is lying about their age. Or she's lying about her age, or Toya is lying about his age.
Let me see. I need to see how old Toya is now. Like he's.
Well, okay, no wait.
No wait, he went 16 to 18 in the original series. So,
okay, but how old was he when she died? That's what we're missing here. That's what the disconnect is.
Yeah.
She did not die when he was 16.
She died when Sakura was like 3 or 4 or 5 or something like that. I know she was really young. Sakura was really young when she died. She doesn't have really any memories of her mom.
Okay, so Sakura is like 10. Toya is 16. So that's like a 6-year difference. So Toya, if she had died when Sakura was 4, that means Toya was 10. So she died at 20. That means she had him at 16.
Yeah.
She was impregnated at 16.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you. That's why I'm saying. Yeah.
You have to wonder, did they get married before that, or did they get married because of that?
I think they got married because of that, honestly.
Ah, Toya, you poor bastard.
Because I feel like they did say things like, oh, we got married to get around the fact that people didn't want us to date while she was in high school, so we cut it and got married instead. Which, I believe at the time in Japan, you still needed permission from the parents to marry someone at that age.
So she probably got married at like 14 or 15.
Yeah, she got married at 14 or 15. I want to say she was like at the beginning of her high school career when they met.
This has been a very dark dive down the Cardcaptor Sakura iceberg.
Well, look, this is why I get angry about people who don't like, who are like mean to everybody about lolly characters and stuff. And I'm like, okay, so people liking lolly characters, that's bad. But you guys will defend things like Cardcaptor Sakura to the death. The road does not go both ways, guys. And I'm like, you have to condemn everything if you're going down this road. I want to say this is even worse because this is telling children, it's okay to date your teacher. This is reinforcing.
It's okay to have a kid at 16.
Yeah. It's okay to get married at 14 years old to your teacher. It's okay to get engaged to your teacher when you're 10. It's okay to be in a relationship with this woman in her early 30s when you're 10. You see what I'm getting at here?
100%.
I'm just saying, I feel like that things like Cardcaptor Sakura are worse because they're actually more directed towards children, and they kind of reinforce the same thing over and over again, and everybody's like, well, at least Chobits is a seinen, and there isn't any lolly stuff happening in there, and I'm like, well, Chi is basically a lolly. Mentally.
Is that what you were talking about before, how they invented it?
Yeah. Yeah, Chi... Actually, Chi was, just so you know, Chi is basically the precursor for all of the lolly stuff that came after it. Because it was a seinen, it was directed at older men. It did very well for what it was, because it was, you know, a cutesy manga style, but it was in the older men category as who it was directed towards. Basically also kind of got the, fashion style basically was also, you know, populated because, you know, Chi was always in wearing Lolita clothing and stuff like that. So, you know, that also...
Isn't there a difference, though, between Lolita and
Lolly?
No,
there's a difference between Lolita and Lolly, but both of these things come from that.
Yeah.
Because if you ever notice that the lollies kind of wear a lot of frilly frou-frou outfits, isn't that interesting?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
So, anyway, welcome to the deep dive of the dark side of history. It's like, I found this out just by watching someone else. They're like, oh no. It's like when I did the deep dive into Clamp, I realized that they're credited for all the little girl stuff that's happening. And they're like, oh no. Because Clamp is a little different from a lot of things at the time. While a lot of female artists who are, you know, very well known, they kind of like copied the shonen, the general typical way that a shonen series you expect it to be drawn and stuff like that. Clamp did it away with that. They did their own art styles, and they're like the odd ones out where they consistently do whatever the art style they want to do, and it becomes popular. But like the pretty boy archetype and like all of the large eyes and large features and stuff like that. Because if you notice, there's a big shift from 90s stuff to 2020 to, well, 20s to the 2010s. So there was a big shift in anime styles from that. And Clamp is highly accredited to like the more moe style that's come previous to the 90s aesthetic, because, you know, their stuff was so popular. And some people thought, hey, they might have something here. And there you go. Why the aesthetics have changed and shifted the way they are today.
You know what this is making me think of?
What?
I don't know if you remember this shit, because, like, it never got an anime, but did you ever see Dragon Knights, or read Dragon Knights?
Dragon Knights, Dragon Knights, Dragon Knights. Sounds familiar. I can't.
It was it was very much a shoujo. It was drawn in that style that was like typical of 90s shoujo. Lots of pretty boys.
Dragon Knights. It looks familiar.
I'm surprised it never got an anime.
Hmm.
The reason I knew about it was because they had it at my library when I was in middle school. You know, characters are dropping fucks and shits, but it was in my middle school library.
Let's see. Dragon Knights. The author was Minako Okami. Ah, it's a pen name. Let's see, what did she also do? Nothing popular. Well, there you go.
Mm.
She has no credited high-done works except for Dragon Knights. So.
I mean, it was weird because like when the series, like the first chapter.
Well, here's the reason why she's weird. She's a Shonen Ai artist. You were reading a Shonen Ai, Azure.
Was there? I don't think there was any Shonen Ai in this, because it seemed like they were setting up like a female and a male character.
That's what you think.
Possibly.
It says that she's primarily a shonen and shoujo Ai author, but I mean this is a shoujo, so maybe this is the one difference. But according to...
I don't know, like, this thing is like 20 volumes long, I only got four volumes.
Yeah, but according to the list of characters here, all the main 3 characters are... Oh, no, wait, here are leading ladies. There are 3 girl leading ladies, too. Never mind.
Yeah, it was weird. Because, you had these 3 knights. The way it opened was weird, because the very first chapter, it's like, yeah, we've already killed the big bad, and we're bringing his head back to our king. And it's like, that's where the story begins. And one of the main characters was actually a character from her other work. I remember that in the manga.
Yeah. Good night. Oh, it says here that it came out the same time as Tokyo Babylon, but it went on for much longer than Tokyo Babylon went on for.
25 volumes.
Mm-hmm. It ran from 1990 to 2007, Dragon Knights.
17 years to publish 26.
Yep.
26 volumes.
And then there's Tokyo Babylon. We don't talk about Tokyo Babylon. I'm begging you guys, please do not watch the anime. I do not want to support Clamp anymore. They're going too far with things. I really don't want to see their old works get stuff. Because if I see their old works get anime and stuff, I just realize how problematic they are as writers. You want to see a 16-year-old get gaslit by a man who's in his 20s? I don't. I don't. I don't. You want to see him get so emotionally distraught next 1999, which never got finished, happens. I don't.
So we can go on.
Oh, thank God, it got canceled. Or was it continued? I can't tell.
What?
I'm reading the thing of the TV series that it said, due to necessary made on 2020, the production committee named the series was delayed to an unspecific event, and the cases of plagiarism surfaced.
Right.
Yeah.
The anime staff was like stole fashion or something.
Yeah. Well, technically, it would have been Clamp who probably stole the fashion.
I don't think it was Clamp. I think it was people who did like the. You know how like when an anime comes out they do promotional art?
Yeah.
I think it was like the promotional art that was like plagiarized.
But
Let's see
anyway,
here, Babylon.
yeah. But anyway, it sounds like it's canceled. Please, thank God, save us all from this nightmare from being being animated. I'm begging you. Anyway, other reasons why Clamp should not be trusted to write things. They cannot finish things. I'm looking at you, X1999. And legal drug. And I don't know what other thing. Why are you continuing XX Hololick and Tsubasa Reservoir Chronicles? Please don't.
You've already fucked it up. Stop trying to save it. Rocks fall, everyone dies. That's how you end it.
What other things have Clamp worked on? Well, they worked on Blood Sea and Code Geass and Kabuki.
In a limited. They did a fan art of Saber.
Yeah. They exist. They do a lot of ecchi stuff in the back. Notice how their stuff gets progressively more ecchi as they go along, but you know, their relationships are still pretty bad. You know what? We should probably stop the stream before we get too far into this.
Yeah.
We should before we're too far gone.
Pollock is returning in 2023.
No. I don't want to do the series anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Isn't Yuko dead?
Yes. Yes, she is.
I don't...
Unless they decide to retcon that bit because it was fucking stupid what they did at the ending of the original one. They did the same chapter over and over again. Until the last one where it was revealed that it wasn't Domeki that he was talking to anymore. It was Domeki's grandson that he had with Himawari.
Ew.
And I'm like, they got together and made a kid. So Watanuki wouldn't be alone. That is
probably the worst reason to have a kid.
Yeah, that is the worst reason to get together. That is terrible. Ugh.
You know, in retrospective, Dragon Knights probably wasn't that bad.
Can you say why I just have... I like Clamp. I like Cardcaptor Sakura. I do. But I'm like saying, and I'm like, why I've like tried to argue with people, and I'm like, it doesn't hold up as you're an adult. Because you realize all of the terrible writing and the bad decisions that this mangaka group have made for their relationships.
Yeah.
So, especially when they're writing gay relationships, guys. Toya and Yukito are literally the only good gay relationship they've ever written. Trust me on this. Do not go looking at the other gay relationships they've written. It's really, really bad. Everybody's
probably the reason why it was so healthy is because it was not the focus of that manga.
Yeah. And everybody's like, well, what about Fi and Kurogane? And I'm like...
That is not a healthy relationship.
They're not in a healthy relationship, guys. They're very codependent on each other for their bad decisions.
Mm-hmm.
It is not a healthy relationship. It is not. Okay. Let's go. This is what I get for trying to stream Pokemon.
We've been standing outside the Pokemon Center for the last 30 minutes.
I'm traumatized. I don't want to play this Nuzlocke anymore, Azure. I'm going back to Final Fantasy.
That sounds like a good idea, because...
This is just sad. My Nuzlocke of this has just been sad.
And it's just been death after death after death after death. Oh god, it really is turning into a Clamp manga.
Okay. Have a good night, everybody. I don't think I'm gonna raid anyone tonight, because I can't brain today. And And figuring out who to raid would take effort. So, good night. Bye-bye.
Night, everyone.
How do I get out of here again? Yeah.